Friday, December 2nd. Big news since our last community talk, which was Wednesday, was that the Fed is looking to slow down rate hikes, and Tesla has put out its first semi finally.
Everyone enjoys a good semi.
Yes, big data, big economic data coming out. SPY just dropped about 1.3, 1.4%. NASDAQ about the same. Or I'm sorry, NASDAQ about 2%. Let's see, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, everything looked higher than it was expected to look.
Do you mean lower? Or the lower than expected and we expected higher? Sorry, I'm on my phone.
No worries. Trying to quickly digest for you guys. Unemployment rate, okay, that was, I think that just changed. 3.7% unemployment rate, that was in line. Non-farm payrolls, 263,000. Forecast was 200,000. Average hourly earnings year over year, forecast was 4.6%. Actual was 5.1%. Month over month forecast is 0.3%. Actual is 0.6%. So that's I would say that's a pretty big signal that the Fed should continue to increase rates, but that would not be news. That would be just as expected. I believe the Fed did say that they were a little pessimistic about this data that was coming out, if you read between the lines.
So do we think SPY is going to give back all of its gains from the dovish statements at Brookings?
I made that trade myself. I do believe that's happening now. I think it's going to happen perhaps the next week. I think that was a little bit of a gift. If you had some meme stocks you want to get out of, I think maybe that was a good time. And if you paid attention to what Powell said, this really shouldn't be surprising. Oh, what about the guy that bought those 1 DTE SPY puts or calls? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? I think we pinned it.
I bet he said nice.
I mean, he didn't cash out yesterday. You know what I'm talking about, right? Some guy bought a ton of SPY calls, and he was up big time, and he didn't cash out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, front page of WallStreetBets. It was like I turned $500 into $51,000, and then everyone noted that he didn't cash out. It was still writing post close. So we'll see what happens.
How do you not cash out on 50 bangs?
Because
I thought he cashed out like 13K of it, because doesn't this account say he had a balance of 13K and the rest was still sitting?
He did pull. I think he did pull some out. I think that's accurate. But as for where he is, I'll be honest with you. I think he killed himself.
I mean, you got to know when to pull out completely. You know what I mean?
Oh, don't have to tell me twice, Luce.
Let's not go there. So, with the unemployment number out, what other plays do we have to share?
Well, I'm currently bag holding SQQQ calls, so you can look at my profile, see how much I'm down.
I'm still hoping that those Abercrombie and Fitch puts print today.
Wait, so are you currently, are you down on those? When did you buy those?
Absolutely, I'm down on those. Yeah, I bought them last week when their earnings came out. I thought they were going to go down. They did the exact opposite.
Previous to earnings.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
They're
retail.
Yeah,
yeah, those are gone. Yeah, thank you for your donation.
I made the mistake. And let this be a lesson for everybody. They're Abercrombie and Fitch and American Eagle had already seen what happened to Target, and they were already priced in. So I thought that they were going to drop further with their earnings. Their earnings actually came out in the positive, and they did about a 20% bull run in like a day. So those puts were decimated.
So for you guys playing earnings, we had Zscaler. They're down, looks like about 15% pre-market. I played that little double. I think that was a double calendar spread I did. That one's looking nice. Marvel Tech, semiconductor chip company, they're down. Let's see, about 8%. Asana is down. Let's see, they closed at 1808. Now they're at 1545. Smart Sheets closed at 3251. They are actually up 35.25. Smart Sheets, there were actually some a decent amount of hedge funds that picked up Smart Sheets in the last few quarters. Maybe they know something.
Is Asana reporting soon or no?
Then that's why they're down. They reported yesterday after the close.
Oh wow! Because Asana, I have a friend whose company uses it. It's the best one there is out of Monday, work week, and all of that.
Did you just take a shit?
Yeah, it's not like a flush.
Oh man, the guy
He's
taking
gonna
a
watch
shit
it,
is telling us that Asana is where it's at.
I mean, is this not where we talk about stuff on the toilet?
I mean,
That's where we
hey.
get most of the work done.
Sounds like he just bought some more Abercrombie and Fitch puts.
Go ahead.
I'm not
Show us the Doge if you're taking a shit right now. If that's your typical routine.
Who's the one
for the
dropping
pre-market
the
talks?
There it is, Mr.
I'm-
Bumble. There
I'll
it
be
is.
honest with you. I can't put one up currently, but more often than not, I would put one up.
No, but I think if even Asana isn't performing well, Jesus, because it's supposed to be the better one than Work Week and Monday. Like it's supposed to be the more
Asana's like-
integratable one.
Yeah,
That
Asana's
Jesus
task
was
tracking.
because it was too big to go down.
It's not like Monday. It's task tracking. It's different. Monday is like Zapier. It's like integrations.
Ah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Of which there are many competitors, are there not? Like I know, like what Trello is one.
Yeah,
Can't you even
Trello,
use Slack?
Atlassian. Trello and Atlassian would be the bigger options there in that space, and Asana. They're all
Yeah,
task tracking stuff.
If I remember correctly, Monday.com is also an Israeli-run company, and they do things a little differently from their U.S. equivalents. So just keep that part in mind.
Oh, I didn't know that at all. Wow.
We're talking about the workday stuff, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Atlassian is a much bigger company. I know that, and I think they've had a stronger foothold, much bigger presence. So if I were to bet on one of those companies, regardless of stock price, might be Atlassian.
I made my bullish play. Workday is a literal trash can. It's a flaming trash can, which means that every corporation is going to pick it up. It's going to be huge.
Absolutely. So bullish long on Workday.
Yeah, because it's so terrible for me as a worker.
Which means the government will integrate it at some point, and then
Yeah.
that'll be it.
It'll be like the standard across the entire fucking globe.
I took Luce's advice with a put spread for Verizon, and it is already doing me wonders.
Oh, the credit put spread.
That's correct,
The
sir.
wide one. Yeah.
Yep.
I like
Yeah.
that trade.
That's actually really good. And I also bought a put on them yesterday at market open, and they dropped about 2%. So that's printing pretty nice as well.
Yeah, so for those that don't know that trade or are interested, really it works on any stock that isn't, we'll say maybe it doesn't have too much further to go down, pays a high dividend, is a big company, one of those big boring companies, right? And you're just looking at very high dividends. The goal is to, rather than buy the stock and collect, say, like a 6-7% dividend, which Verizon currently has, you sell put spreads, wide put spreads at the money. Your goal is to get a very fat yield. We're talking at least double. And I think in Verizon's case, what it's like triple the yield, right, of the dividend on an annualized basis. Sell wide put spreads
like 25-30%.
Yeah. So let's see, if we're looking right now, I would go to January. I would sell the strike 38 puts, and then I would protect with the, let's say, strike 32 puts. And if you wanted to pinch pennies, you could go further down on the long put, strike 31, strike 30. but that's going to cost you a good amount more in terms of risk. So the overall goal is to maximize the yield and like really ramp it up 3 times the yield, but lower your risk than if you were to actually hold the shares, because the stock price tanks, you'll be protected thanks to those put spreads. But if you were just holding the shares, you would lose a lot more money as long as you're correctly position sized. So this doesn't mean like you throw your whole portfolio into this. This is just an alternative to owning shares that gives you a far greater yield at a significantly lower risk.
And you can always hedge that bet by buying, so you can always make sure that you have security.
Yeah, and then you would try to roll. If you're not familiar with rolling at all, maybe don't do this trade. But yeah. But I mean, really, like rolling, once you do it like on a few trades, you're like, okay, I get the idea of this. And honestly, it wouldn't be a bad way to learn, I guess, because Verizon isn't some like no name company,
Yeah, and it's not crazy volatile either. It's not like a penny stock or Tesla,
Yeah, it has had a hell of a dip this year, but it's Verizon. It's got a hefty yield, still 6.8%. So if you get assigned, you need to make sure you have the cash to back up the purchase of the shares that you would be assigned. But yeah, not a bad stock to even if you wanted to turn that into a sort of a wheel, for example. Just do small position size, and then you would roll continuously for as long as as long as you want, or as long as it's feasible, assuming the stock price doesn't go crazy on you, right? And you would continue rolling until you get close to that annualized yield. In this case, it would be something like 20% versus a 6.8% dividend yield.
T-Mobile correlates pretty well with Verizon. Would you recommend that this would be a good play, doing a put credit spread with T-Mobile by chance on the same dividend days?
Let me take a look at what they're trading at. And what
I don't think they pay a dividend, do they?
Let me check.
Yeah, last I checked,
T-Mobile
T-Mobile
does
doesn't
not pay
pay.
a dividend.
Yeah, so that's the we'll say slight bit of protection you get if you do get assigned Verizon shares. You keep your option premium, and then you'll get that quarterly dividend if you want to hold through that.
Yeah. So the plus side is that even while you're playing this put credit spread, you still have the shares that would return you that dividend should anything happen.
Yeah, this play is for the people that prefer to be boring but actually make money over the long term.
Wow.
I heard bring people in rolling. Sounds like we're playing D&D.
I don't understand that reference. All right, hey, what else we got here? Anybody playing? I think earnings season wrapping up.
Is Wizards of the Coast public?
Then we got GME coming.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the wrong date for earnings calendar. Opinion, what you got to say? you heard a word that triggered you?
Okay, I'll go fix it. Sorry. Or text AMA on Wednesday.
Text AMA on Wednesday?
Or text.
Oh, or text. Or text. Okay, I thought you said like or text.
Somebody asked if Wizards of the Coast is public. They're owned by Hasbro, which is public.
Yeah,
there's somebody to know. Elagato Gordo XXX wants to know, hey, Luce, are you still in Zim?
Oh no. Oh no, man. I got out of that long time ago. That was if by chance you got into Zim because you felt very inspired by the DD that I posted a while back, one of my risks, my downside risk that would change the analysis and valuation was a global economic crisis, which guess what? That box was checked. It's there. Go check. It's there at the bottom in the risk section, which is, risk is fucking in all caps, big letters. And I put a global economic crisis that completely changed the picture. And then we're talking early year. I said I was fully hedged and I was ready to get out when it was trading around 60, I think. So, yeah,
What's the global economic crisis right now?
it was the Russia-Ukraine war
Oh.
and all the damage that did. Supply chains, inflation, food prices. I mean, that I think that counts. So I was out.
That Bank of America put that I was speaking of before, I believe it was it was either the 37 or the 36. That is printing for me today.
It was also printing yesterday, so.
Just
Very nice.
happy on Nintendo because Luce told me to.
Oh no! I was apparently I was pumping and dumping Nintendo. So everybody short Nintendo. Everybody sell it now.
I'm waiting on you to tell me to dump. Oh wait, you just did. Fuck.
Yeah, he's been buying Nintendo since like the start of Nintendo. WOTG 33K. I think he's still waiting for the Nintendo sticker from Nintendo headquarters.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm a shill.
My boy Shig Maya. I'm waiting for him to send me a nice letter or a nice fax because that's how they communicate.
Dude, I got so mad yesterday because I spent like half an hour trying to get up on the talk, and the moment you guys let me up, for some reason my network cut out, and I feel like it's a Reddit issue.
I was wondering.
I don't know why, but it just seems like there's times where for some reason I get brought up, and all of a sudden my network cuts out, and it only happens when I get brought up for talks on Reddit.
I blame Opinion 100% for that.
The hedgies. The hedgies.
The hedgies.
If you use the mobile app,
Canada,
there's
sorry.
a problem when it comes to the talks for some reason. Like it keeps crashing. I get the same thing as well, and also the hedgies.
Welcome to tech support with WallStreetBets.
Yeah. Who do we contact for that? Is that Opinion?
No, please.
Yes, send all requests for customer service and tech support to Opinion. Opinion _ unpopular.
Hey, Opinion. I was curious if there's any play. Okay. If I may say, I guess Canada is going to have a ban on foreign investments for housing market. Is that true?
I don't know, but it wouldn't be the first time.
Don't they already have that ban that it's like foreigners can't buy in Canada? Do they not have that ban already?
I think we had it for like a couple years, like a while ago. Or maybe we were just talking about it. But either way, I think the data shows that it's not really like foreign home buyers, but they're like an easy scapegoat. So I think that's what's going on. So I wouldn't expect to see like huge decreases in prices of homes. I don't think that's the main driver.
I was gonna say, does that exclude the USA? Like, or is the USA like the reason for that?
No, I think it doesn't. It doesn't exclude the USA, and I think what people do is they just set up a company in Canada and just buy through that. So it doesn't really do anything.
Okay, and I guess it doesn't come into effect till January 1st, 2023. My bad.
Yeah, I thought it was Chinese home buyers. I thought it was like a bunch of people from China were using this as a way to exfiltrate money around the currency transfer regulations of China by buying properties in Canada and renting them out.
Oh.
But that was what was happening a few years ago. I don't know if they like nipped that in the bud. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think that's still happening, and in a lot of places as well, in the United States as well, it's happening.
But in Canada, the house prices are extra crazy, right? As far as I'm aware, they're just like ridiculously crazy.
I don't know. I think they're actually quite reasonable. I think a lot of people who are landlords are losing money. That they probably spend more at current interest rates than they would collect in rent.
It's pretty bad in Vancouver and Toronto, though, right?
No, I would say Toronto and Vancouver are better than everywhere else because even though, yes, prices are higher, the price difference between, I guess, tier 1 and like tier 2 or 3 cities is not really that much. It's maybe like a couple $100 a month, which sure sounds like a lot, maybe like 10 or 20%. But I think the increase in salary you would probably get moving to a tier 1 city is much more than 10 or 20%.
But are you talking about renting prices, or are you talking about house buying prices, or both?
Rent.
I love that the American landlords are price gouging everybody, and the Canadian landlords are too nice, and so they're losing money.
See, I was gonna make a joke, but I figured it might go over Opinion's head, kind of like that goal went over the goalie's head in that match yesterday.
Ooh!
Wow!
Puck's fired. Puck's fired.
Fucking banned.
Yeah, who said that? Let me remove you from talk. No, I'm just kidding.
It was one of your mods that said that.
I smell
Mods
it
right
too.
up. Hey, before we forget, Big Lots mom should be coming on soon. We were receiving reports that Big Lots mom is still in bed. So hopefully she'll wake up before the pre-market talk ends, and we can get Big Lots mom on the talk, and she can give us her insight on her recent visits to Big Lots, how she feels about the earnings report. Hey, maybe the negative earnings report and guidance means more deals for Big Lots mom, but she's never going to get those deals. She doesn't get her ass out of bed.
Go I'll wake her up.
Big at the new Big Lots.
Mama gotta have a life too.
Or no life if you're sleeping all day.
Must be some comfortable ass furniture at the Big Lots.
Let's find out.
Case.
Wow.
Are Big Lots available everywhere, or are they just like? I've never seen a Big Lots where I am. I don't know if it's like a regional thing or.
Is it mostly in the South? They're everywhere down here.
You're not
South and Northeast, I think.
I'm in the South and I've never seen it.
Mr. Bumbler, are you in Florida? Who's the one in Florida?
I'm in Florida. Yes.
They have the third. They have the third biggest presence in Florida. Am I saying that right? They have most stores in California, second Texas, and third would be Florida. So yeah, there are a lot there.
I might have to check it out then. I've heard good things.
Yeah, there's one on Florida Avenue in Tampa, and there's also one on Orange Blossom Trail in Apopaka, Florida. And yeah, you can just go on Google.com and find more.
I don't live in those areas, but I might go there.
I used to live in Ohio. They have quite a few as well.
Yeah, they are very well positioned where they have the most competition. So in other words, they're very poorly positioned.
Like near the hood.
Yeah, so that's what I was just about to say. They seem to be in more lower income areas, right?
Not at all.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So, do a lot of people on here actually shop at Big Lots?
I do not.
No. I think I've been there once in the past couple of years.
I feel like it looks like a TJ Maxx.
I have a Big Lots near me, and it's not a low income area at all. You can't even get a single family for $400,000 here. So,
is it like a very cheap version of like Costco or something like that, or like a really shit version of BJ's?
No, my understanding is they buy liquidated stuff and resell it at a discount. Is that right?
It's like the Marshalls. That's right. It's like the Marshalls or Ross of furniture.
Yeah.
Other things.
So somebody had pointed out like patio furniture is really nice at Big Lots. It's affordable. It's cool. And then like just everyday like couch kind of things are normally more affordable at Big Lots.
I love how simply trying to describe what a Big Lots is. We have like each person has like another one dot that they're placing on the wall, and we're all trying to connect the dots, like solve the mystery of what is Big Lots.
This is like the story of, I think it's what, the 7 blind mice, and they're like, oh, it's all this and this, and eventually we're going to find out it's an elephant in the room.
Yes.
I'd like to do a poll and to see who actually shops at Big Lots, because it doesn't seem like anyone shops there, and no one seems to know what they sell. So,
well,
they sell nothing but trash. Everything there is trash. It's like it's low grade food. The patio furniture. They have a little section to where it's patio furniture, but everything else there is trash. You go there
Well,
to maybe get a charger or something like
I
that.
hear they also sell trash cans, so it's sort of a one-stop shop, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yeah, whoever
So you
said
can just
like
buy the stuff
Marshalls
and put
is
it straight in the
correct.
trash
It's like
can.
basically
Nice.
Marshalls, where Marshalls has the clothes. Big Lots has everything else. But
All
it
right,
doesn't have food.
I think we
So
figured it out. Okay.
So
yeah,
he said it was trash. I
according
thought
to
we were talking about Big Lots, not Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yeah.
Oh,
so Big Lots is based out of Columbus, Ohio, which is where I live. That's their headquarters. According to them, they're a discount retailer that engages in every sector, right? So they discount basically anything you could find at a Walmart or anything else. They try to undercut them. That's what they do. They buy liquidated stuff.
they do not sell computers though. Just want to clarify.
Yeah, no.
So if there was actually a recession, it would be a good play. But apparently, according to everyone, the recession's been cancelled. So I don't
Wait,
know.
here's the thing. So I've actually done a good amount of DD on Big Lots. I just haven't shared most of it. So Big Lots, they over the past year, they ramped up inventory in a big way, but a lot of that inventory was home furnishing and furniture, stuff like that. That is down because home sales are down. So they basically made the biggest mistake out of all the retailers, where all the retailers had issues with inventory. A lot of that issue for the big retailers, the guys that actually, typically know what they're doing, like Walmart, Target, it wasn't big on home furnishing. It was electronics. It was a lot of consumer discretionary stuff, not so much on home furnishing and furniture. Big Lots went, I don't even, I'll let somebody answer this later. I don't even know if they sell electronics, but Big Lots went big into the home furnishing and furniture part, which is now down big time. So that's why they would suck. They would absolutely suck during a recession. They're also paying a fat dividend, and they have negative free cash flow and a good amount of debt. So they can't service a dividend and service their debt at the same time. So something really has to give with them, and their sales are their margins are going down. Like everything looks really bad. You look at the financials and then management decisions. It's just shit. It really is shit. So, but anyways,
And they don't sell that furniture for cheap as you would think, right? Like they actually sell it at a big number, so it's not even worth going there.
well, they're gonna have to at some point because otherwise they're just gonna lose all that damn money. They're gonna have to write off inventory because they just can't freaking sell it.
I'm just curious, Luis. When people say they don't go into the store and then they speculate on what the prices are, I'm just curious how that works hand in hand. Like,
I actually live by one. I've been in several times, and it's usually empty. It's the movies and stuff they sell there is usually like the dollar stuff that's in Walmart, that's in those like big baskets. So like everything there is like the shit that you don't want. So I'd be really bearish.
all right,
Let me tell you.
What's the
Let me
prices
tell
for-
you. As someone who goes there with some frequency, my wife and I, we go there to get decorations for seasonal stuff, and
Yeah.
that's it. That's nothing. But like we go there to get like Thanksgiving decorations or Christmas decorations. Like it's like that's it. I mean, because they're dirt cheap, they're last season stuff, and it's like we're not going to spend a bunch of money on decorations we might throw away later, right? But I mean, come on, that's not a business.
Yeah. All right. Hey,
So-
why don't we pivot away from Big Lots? I think Hardy's about to hang himself if we don't talk about a play.
Yeah, let's talk about AG&C puts. We were talking about the real estate thing, and with Blackstone having some trouble with redemptions and or as we would call it in crypto, pausing redemptions. I think that there's some more trouble. AG&C is heavily leveraged, 8.7 to 1, and I've had puts on them for a while, thinking about doubling down.
I'd like to ask a Hardy question. What's the competitor to Big Lots? I feel like it's a Hardy question.
The competitor? I don't know of
Ollie.
any publicly traded company that would be a competitor to Big
Overstock.
Lots.
Overstock.
Ollie's, it's
Well,
Ollie's
Overstock
bargain.
is online. Overstock is online only, right? They don't
Right,
have a
Ollie's?
retail presence or brick and mortar presence.
Wouldn't like
Ollie's
Dollar
bargain outlet. would be the competitor to Big Lots. Ollie's is also publicly traded.
Are they?
They're like an even poorer Big Lots than rural areas.
Ollie's is absolute garbage.
I feel like the Dollar
Ollie's-
General and
Yeah,
so forth.
Ollie's. Ollie's also sells refurbished electronics, and sometimes they don't even work.
So they're buying the shit from Amazon returns?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Speaking of Amazon, apparently they had the biggest ever shopping weekend, Black Friday.
Yeah, I read that too, that they had the highest sales.
I hope so, because, you know, like each year should be the biggest every year. You know what I mean?
Was it Black Friday or Cyber Monday or both?
It was the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Shopify also announced the same thing.
So, real quick before we go to that, Scald, you mentioned AGNC, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm about to hit a dead zone here in the cornfields of Ohio, but that's right. They have high leverage. They're a residential REIT. I think if the real estate market.
Oh, there's the dead zone.
And there he goes.
But you heard what he said, corn. Time to load up and take physical delivery.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So from what I know from conversing with some of you fine lads, AGNC, the play on that was shorting MBSs that aren't agency backed, correct? Do you know what AGNC stands for? The ticker. It's in the ticker. They have a lot of agency backed MBSs, so you're shorting one of the safer REITs in residential. So just FYI, it's
I
literally
thought
in the ticker.
AGNC has a higher proportion of CMBS than they normally would.
Than they normally would. What do you mean?
Correct. Basically means they're holding an unrealized loss in CMBS, which is why their leverage ratio has been going up.
Oh, that's across the board though. But they do have I think something over like 70% of agency backed loans, and
Yeah,
they're actually pretty well positioned. They gave pretty good guidance the last earnings, and there are other companies.
By asset value, right? Not by liability, but not by the loan value.
I'll have to look at the report, but that's what they reported in the last earnings report. And my point is, there are other companies that are in a much worse position than AGNC that have far less agency supported loans. You know, whether it's you know, forget the accounting part, they just have something like half, you know, as much on the balance sheet period. So if that's the play, I would look for one of the you know, just low hanging fruit, basically. A lot of companies sucking it up in that space.
Is this a loan originator?
I have returned. Sorry about that, guys.
You're good.
There's a valley here that has no cell phone signal.
Are you driving to do due diligence on Dole or something? You're trying to see if the crops are real?
Yeah, that's why he's in the cornfields right now.
I'm actually holding AGNC in my dividend portfolio.
I'm gonna be honest. If I wanted to short that industry, AGNC would be like, if I really wanted to, AGNC would probably be the long part of a long short trade.
That's
like a bear
exactly what
trade.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
So who would be the other leg of that trade if AGNC is the long?
Possibly Blackstone,
Yeah.
BXMT.
There are some smaller REITs. I'd have to control F through my messages because I had a list of them. But you could simply just look at the REITs with very high dividend yields, and because those investors will punish those because they're essentially predicting that they absolutely will cut the dividend yields because that's how bad the business is doing. So basically the ones with the high dividend yields, it's like those are the ones flashing the red signals, you know, throwing up the red flags. So any of those REITs that are similar to AGNC that have much higher dividend yields, that probably would be a good place to start.
Well, maybe I have this backwards then, because I'm longing one with a high dividend yield but low leverage. you're thinking leverage isn't a risk here?
Well, it depends what that leverage is, because say like a company could have a lot of agents. Like there are a lot of REITs that have very, very high leverage, but they're like, their portfolio is like 90% government backed, right? So nobody cares. You know what I mean? Then you're just basically investing in a bond, and a bond is in and of itself leverage, right? But nobody says, oh no, this bond is shit. It's a terrible investment. But if I gave you a bond and was like, hey, this is a bond government backed and it's going to pay 10%, you'd be like, wait a second, that's a pretty damn good deal. So that's, tune the dial there, right? Tune it back on the leverage part, and then increase the yield. And that's what you're getting when you look at REITs, essentially. But then it comes down to management, and then it comes down to actual properties and residential properties versus commercial. A lot of analysts are saying right now that commercial has more risk, because commercial, there were a lot of small businesses that got going during COVID with all the stimulus, and a lot of those businesses sucked. But who cares? Because you got all that money, you got all that basically free money from the government. You just start whatever business, or if you had a shitty business that was going, you could keep it going, you could ramp it up. But now you fast forward a couple years, and guess what? Those small businesses, turns out a lot of them fucking sucked. So a lot of those guys took out loans on commercial real estate. So I don't know if anybody remembers, maybe it was like several months ago, but the swaps, the insurance on commercial real estate were skyrocketing. So the markets were already pricing in a much bigger crash in commercial real estate than residential. So that's something to consider too.
I'm looking at BXMT. They're heavy in the commercial side, so I mean that would be my play on that.
So from what I hear, it's BXMT as the short leg of that, and the long is AGNC, correct?
I think it's worth doing a bit more research.
Yeah,
to be
there
honest.
definitely needs to be more research put in.
Okay, so
It's like
I'm
a
going to come
15-minute glance.
Yeah, I'm going to come up with a list of high leverage, high dividend commercial REITs. And once I get that list together, I'm going to start hitting them and doing a deep dive into each of them. And later today or Monday at the latest, I'll have a better short play on the real estate market.
Awesome. Thank you, man. That's awesome, because I think it's a really good play. Like real estate is definitely something that we can play here.
Don't get lost in the cornfield. We need you.
Yeah. And as I think, as with all long short plays, don't just look at it from like, oh, you got to short something shitty, right? Also look at the long, like what could definitely potentially do very well. What could investors flock to, right? The long side is just as important as the short. So, be pessimistic on one end, be optimistic on the other. You should be able to find something, I think. But if we could move past that, somebody mentioned retail, or we were talking about online retail sales, Amazon, stuff like that. If you want to pick it up from there.
I actually sell
noticing-
stuff on Amazon if you guys want any sort of insider info.
Happy to hear your friendly story.
Let's hear your friendly stories.
Let's share this proposal.
So I'm not going to get into specifics of what I do, but I will say the industry I'm in has really changed in the past year. Our prices have pretty much doubled because of like just crazy stuff that I won't really get into. But I'll get, the sales and stuff, they were actually really, really slow about 2 weeks ago, like way slower than usual. But recently, I will say the past week has been pretty insane, pretty healthy. So I will just say that.
Sex toys?
They're not sex toys.
Drug paraphernalia?
Yes.
It's drug paraphernalia.
Bingo.
So
full body gimp suit.
He sells bongs.
So Best Buy, we were talking about confused money. Some of those places are turning into warehouses. And apparently, some of those WalMarts are using the space to hold TVs. So that will be an interesting play, no less. We should, if anyone's by a Best Buy, if you could find out if they're turning their retail stores into warehouses, that'd be great to know.
Are you saying that Walmart's storing TVs at these Best Buy warehouses?
That's what I said.
Interesting.
I actually have to go to Best Buy tomorrow, so I will check in with that. Who do I have to ask? The store manager, you think?
Yeah, you'd probably have to talk to the GM, and more than likely they're not going to want to share that type of information with you. But
No, you would just go to the guy who's stocking the shelves, who gets paid $14 an hour, and yeah, he'll give you a friendly story. I'm sure of it.
Yeah,
Sick. So be buddy with the guy for 5 minutes and then ask him. Got it.
yeah,
Cool.
basically, yeah, and see if you can see the bill of lading, or not the bill of lading, but ask them if they like whoever looks at the bill of lading when it gets delivered, and that'll tell you where it's coming from.
What's that called? I'm gonna write this down.
Another thing Best Buy is doing is they're allowing. Someone was talking about that they're allowing third-party sellers to sell through the Best Buy website, but then Best Buy is price matching them. So if a third-party seller starts selling items on Best Buy, they'll just lower the price on whatever that item is to compete with that person directly. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Isn't that counterintuitive?
No, that's some Amazon shit.
Actually, I wanted one more note about Amazon and sort of what related to that that I did want to mention to you guys. I forgot to tell you about. That's sort of bearish, but essentially, as some of our products I noticed, Amazon will essentially reduce their margin by, so like I'll have my price set to say $39.99, and then when I go to the page on Amazon, it'll be listed at like $37.99 or $36.99. And essentially what's happening is I'm still getting my $40, but Amazon is essentially selling it to the customer and reducing that, and they're giving them a discount. And so that's obviously not good, but just wanted to throw that out there.
Sorry, I thought Amazon was like against anything related to smoking and drug paraphernalia and all that stuff. Does that change?
If I get a point of clarification on this, so you're an Amazon retailer, you're giving them items, they're giving you money for it, and then they're eating part of the margin to resell it? Okay.
Yes.
So this goes back what Toulouse was saying about them having, what was it, zero margin? Moving in their forward-looking statements, they might be a 0% markup. Sounds like that's happening.
Do we know if the digital marketplace at GameStop is real, or is that just some bullshit? Like, it was like an NFT marketplace or something?
The marketplace exists, but it's not on GameStop. GameStop simply offers a portal to the marketplace.
Is it their marketplace?
They do not own it.
Okay.
So, question for the Amazon seller: are they taking care of it? Are you sending it to them and they sell it, or are you shipping it yourself?
I used to do more FBA is the one called fulfillment by Amazon, but recently with the products we sell, I just I don't know. I've recently have done a lot more fulfillment by merchant FBM, which is where I ship it myself. It's just like the way that they package them and stuff. I just don't trust them all the time. But yeah.
Do you still have to match the 2-day, or are you not Prime?
No. They do have a program like that, but actually recently I will say something that Amazon has started doing, and I don't know if it's UPS or Amazon or both, but they've actually been UPS has been cutting essentially if it's on the same coast as you, or if it's not like going across, like if it's not going from East Coast to West Coast, if it's like going from like Florida to say New York or something. I've noticed UPS and Amazon have started to reduce their rates, and like they're really competitive now with the Postal Service. So I don't know if that's good or bad or what, or who's doing that, but essentially a lot of our packages get delivered within 2 days. I will say probably about 80% now, maybe 2 to 3 days. I would say 80%.
So FedEx and UPS are both laying off employees or putting them on furlough. FedEx just announced that yesterday. They're doing voluntary furloughs for their employees, and they're giving them like $300 a week incentive to basically take voluntary furlough for 90 days.
Right now?
Right
before the holidays.
Yes.
That's a big fucking deal.
Yes.
Sorry, what exactly is furlough?
Say that again.
What is furlough exactly?
Furlough. So they're basically like the employees not guaranteed technically that they. I mean, they're saying in their statements that they're guaranteeing that they can come back within that 90-day time frame, but they're not going to actually pay them until they come back. They're going to still retain their health benefits and whatnot through the furlough period, but they will not actually pay the employee until they return to work, say 90 days from. I think they said it's starting Sunday.
And what
this
employees did they offer this to?
LTL drivers.
So all the drivers during the busiest time of year have been offered a furlough to be able to stop working for 3 months.
Not all of them. We're just talking FedEx on this specific article that I'm reading, and I can post the article too.
No,
It's
I'm
on
saying
FreightWaves.
all of FedEx.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Hey guys,
Post that article if you can in chat.
there's a Doommasterfy one said this guy is fake news. UPS is not furloughing people. I'm not sure. He said Google UPS ground maps. Just not trying to add speculation here. Just trying to move on.
He's saying that I'm fake news. Okay.
Did not say that. I'm just
Hey, we're all adults here. Do your own due diligence.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a quick question on the Best Buy using his retail thing.
Sir Hunter Stock works in the shipping industry.
Are you them using retail stores as warehouses? So I got that. What else am I supposed to ask? Because I'm literally going there tomorrow.
Basically you'd want to get in touch with whoever actually signs off on the bill of ladings, which it gets complicated because you're asking for very sensitive types of information, so which they may or may not want to share with you.
I mean, the worst they say is no. So.
And if you're able to walk into that Best Buy, it's probably not one of them. The ones, there are several here that are just normal Best Buys, but there are several here you can't even walk into them. You go to the storefront and you pick up your online order there, and that's it. They don't even let you into the building. So if you're able to walk around the Best Buy, it's probably not the one.
I think we're talking
Well,
about.
I'll let you know Monday if I can. I'll let you know Monday if I can walk around the place.
Are we talking about Bed Bath & Beyond or Best Buy?
Best Buy.
One fewer B.
There's a Best Buy near me that had that same set, but it's being renovated. But for a couple weeks, if you ordered something, you would have to get it at the storefront. But that is just because it's being renovated. But
Hey,
That's what they're telling the employees. Go back there again now. And it's probably still not open. It's probably still, quote, being renovated. They're turning these locations into basically shipping warehouses. And they're cutting loose the sales staff, right? You don't need someone to be like, what's a computer? And then have some random Best Buy employee answer you. You can get rid of that employee if you're just running a warehouse.
So is that bearish, or would that be bullish for earnings? The next earnings call. Bullish, right? You're not paying people.
Yeah, bullish.
Yeah, some of this is already priced into the stock because they started doing this during COVID. But what's interesting is they have not changed this structure. They seem to be going with this new structure. So my supposition would be that obviously there's a reason they're doing that, and it's likely profits.
Cutting labor is always cheaper, right?
Yeah, and are you going to buy something off Amazon and wait 3 to 5 days for it to show up to your house, or are you just going to go to the local Best Buy and pick it up? Especially if it's an electronic item, you probably need it now.
Yeah, I will say that if I could drive to the store and not get out and just go to the curb and pick up my new computer part, I would do that. Are we going to hear from Big Lots mom? We heard anything there?
I believe she's still sleeping. Oh, wait a second. She's officially awake, but she's a bit groggy. She could come on, depending if we keep the talk going, she could come on after the markets.
You need your coffee.
Yeah.
Bruce, can I ask, if it's not too personal, what kind of mattress she's sleeping on? Just looking.
Let's we'll have her. He said maybe around 8:45, so in about 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
Works for me.
Yeah, okay. So we'll ask her all about the mattress, sleeping on the pillows. Is she tired because she's been shopping at Big Lots? So.
Question for
Did she get her mattress from Big Lots?
Question for Luke on the Tesla semi truck and all that. You usually, get straight to the point and not about the bullshit. So I was just wondering your thoughts on the semi truck being dropped yesterday.
The semi truck gives me a semi chub. That's how I would describe that. Does that answer your question?
Not really, but thanks anyway.
I'm not that excited. I don't think the news is that exciting. Let's see what happens with the guidances, how many trucks are actually going to sell. I want to see a big impact on Tesla sales because frankly, Tesla, you got analysts saying it's a value play or it's becoming a value play. I'm not convinced of that, but I would be interested to see how they would perform, if they actually started rolling out those trucks in a big way. I'm not trying to catch these trends where, Rivian's going to sell 500 trucks next year. Like, no, none of that bullshit. Like you'd better be able to scale it and you better be able to do it through recession. So I want to see some guidance, some very good guidance on those trucks.
What's the difference in driving one of those? Like, we talked about the truck drivers and the rail strike and all that stuff. And we've established that a lot of these truck drivers are like immigrants and the ones that aren't immigrants are just like older guys. So I'm wondering, if I get in the cab of that Tesla truck or whatever, what's the different experience, right? Like, am I comfortable as an old dude or an immigrant?
May I speak as a truck driver?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so here's what we're basically looking for here, and how we know that this is going to be a big thing or a bust. Electric trucks. I don't know. Last time I checked, the way that he described these things we're looking at about 300 to 500 miles on their range. Guys, that's when I tell you that's really, really depressing. I don't know how to describe it. Basically, I've been driving OTR over the road for about 4 years. I've just gone local over to Charlotte, where you need these things to go about 800, like on a trip. I'm just like loose ventures over here. I'm happy to. You guys are basically looking at local ventures, maybe. There's not a lot of power that's going to come through this.
We can hardly hear you over the background noise.
Sorry, hang on a second. Oh my God, sorry.
There was noise.
Are you in a Big Lots?
All right. Yeah.
No, I'm
too loud to be Big Lots.
Too loud to be Big Lots. Very nice.
How about now?
Yeah, perfect.
Much better.
Okay. I'm with Loose Ventures on this one. You're basically thinking you need these like diesel. You need electric trucks to basically go about 800 miles on their venture. I'm driving a Volvo right now. It goes about 1,000 on a full tank. So these electrics go what, 300, 500 miles? Oh, we can do a couple of like local areas. Okay. And why would they want to switch out their current rate? Why would they want to switch out their current fleet for something that's electric when there's not going to get a lot of money off of this anyway? They can just throw what they already have, these used trucks, basically into the ground and then get them fixed and then keep going. So I'm not really, I don't know. What I need to see to know whether if this is actually good to go or good to roll with is if we can get infrastructure.
Let me ask you this: if diesel goes up another $2 or $3, does your opinion change?
That will probably eat the small mom and pop shops and operations. But if you're talking about, let's say, Swift, or I'm sorry, does anybody know like actual like logistic, these incestuous fucks out here?
Yeah, we do. Just continue. Just go ahead. Okay. We're very smart. We know all the companies. Go ahead. You
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
They're called.
It's not
Go
going to eat.
ahead.
It's not going to eat Swift. Hell no. They'll just take that out of our check. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna that's not gonna take out Swift. That's not gonna take out Prime. These guys make
But
like $1 billion.
I think from what I
They're
know,
fine.
Yeah,
what's more
Landstar's going to
important.
be all right too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's more important
absolutely.
is for truckers and the trucking companies. They can cover that cost, and like you said, they could just cut pay, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
they want that mileage, and then the truck drivers themselves, you want fewer stops. So let's say infrastructure goes into place. Tesla puts a charging station at every truck stop, every big truck stop, right? And
Yeah.
it's seamless, and they got the technology, and they just replace the battery, right? You just pull up, battery replace, you conduct your truck stop, and then you're on your way, right? You still got to make that stop every 300 to 400 miles versus every
Yeah, that's what I was
800
wondering.
miles.
What's the range on the Tesla?
Yeah,
trucks?
from last time I checked, 300 to 500, right?
Yeah, and
Like
that one stop makes a lot of difference, doesn't it?
Well, we're talking about
Yeah,
solar
and a
batteries
200-mile gap on that range is pretty concerning.
What about
Yeah.
the transmission? Since there's no gears, maybe it's easier for people to get certified. And
I mean, the problem is
that's
the
getting
weight,
too
right?
into the details, I think.
I think the problem with that is that the fact that there's just so little weight that would have to be on this truck, because that's kind of how you get that money back, is whatever you can carry. I know damn well he's not carrying meat on that thing, right? 40,000 pounds of meat, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we talking like? If it's at 44,000 pounds, right? I mean, that's going to be the max for legal weight across the
Yeah.
All right.
US, really.
So we're probably losing people. So before we lose too many
agreed.
people, I think what synopsis is Tesla truck, semi truck. Maybe it works, but it sounds like it wasn't the best idea according to truck drivers. So hey, we got about 2.5 minutes left. Why don't we do some? Well, we'll keep the talk going past market open. But if you all want to shout out some plays,
Yeah, I just want to mention
Thanks for that.
I put the link for the FedEx article on furloughs in the comments.
Word.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that we have the Big Lots Mom coming up too.
Oh.
Yes, Big Lots Mom should be up in maybe about 20 minutes. We'll have her up.
I think that FedEx and UPS, for those that were paying attention, on Monday, we had someone on the chat talking about XPO Logistics and other 3PL providers putting their people on furlough.
Yeah,
so
XPO.
To me, that's just
I
another
mentioned
domino.
that as well.
Yeah.
XPO also did furloughs as well. And CH Robinson's another big one too. They laid off a shitload of employees as well within like the past week.
It's really, really interesting given the strike and everything else going on. Holiday.
So, sorry to jump in. I wanted to talk about that Best Buy turning locations to inventory areas. Historically, if you try and speak to staff, they may not be willing to share information just because they've been trained not to talk to people who trade. But you can, and I dropped this link into the chat. There is a site called BrickSeek. You can utilize this to actually check local inventory. So if there's a particular SKU you're looking at, you can jump it in there, and I'd imagine if something's in the 20 realm, that's normal inventory, but if something's in the few hundreds, you'll be able to determine that location is being utilized as a warehouse or a hub.
It's actually a really good point. I'd probably say anything over 25 in terms of TVs. Like
Yeah.
20 to 25 plus in TVs is a lot.
Because I'd worked at a Best Buy previously, and one of the things they trained on was like, people trying to ask about numbers and product movement and those things. Are the staff savvy enough to understand when you ask for a BOL? That might trigger them to be like, I might not be able to talk about it. But
Oh, they're definitely. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it'd be really difficult. You'd have to know somebody at a Best Buy that, like, you know personally that can check with the warehousing guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
in
Which
that vein,
I do know 2 GMs in the area I live in that I could talk to, but I mean, I don't really want to share that information publicly.
Yeah, but BrickSeek's just a good opportunity, and also if you're just looking in general to try and find something fast, I found that data is incredibly accurate.
All right, we got market open just 15 seconds ago.
I was going to mention on that Best Buy thing, my cousin did all their renovations, and their goal, I think, is what he said is 30% of the stores or the 30% of the store footprint will be shipped from store. So they're changing their shipping model. And maybe y'all talked about that. I came in late, but the goal now is to ship from store and reduce obviously the turnaround time and reduce the freight. And you have the pickup from store. So, I mean, the business model is proven that ship from store actually works very well because Finish Line does it. There's a lot of goods that ship very well locally and very inexpensively. And so the goal is not necessarily to, I don't know, it's just a shift in business model in terms of how they want to ship and how they want to reach the customer.
Guys, it's too late. I just told my boss I quit. I'm going to go apply at Best Buy.
But in that vein, he quit and now works for Walmart and does all of their store renovations. And I think what Walmart has is like 260 stores over the next 3 years are supposed to be fully renovated or something. And he gets calls from his boys at Best Buy. They're like, I don't know what happened when you left, but everything's going to shit in a handbasket. So who knows what's happening at Best Buy, but apparently everybody hates it.
Mr. Molasses, or should I say Dr. Molasses, good to see you now that you got your PhD in your dissertation based on the socioeconomics of the people's living and working under the Queensboro Bridge. How are you?
Louis, I'm here at the Big Lots. I'm trying to get me a new bed to sleep on under the bridge. I'm a little busy.
Oh, of course.
Didn't know you lived under that bridge.
It's breezy.
Yeah, I live down the road a little ways under the next bridge.
I'm doing well. How about you, Louis?
I'm fantastic, you might say. Earnings trades. I'm taking the opposite, almost the opposite trades that all of you guys are, and therefore I'm making a lot of money.
That's right.
That's what you're here for, is the inverse.
Always trade the inverse.
Yes, and for those who are savvy, I'm doing either ratio double diagonal or ratio double calendar spreads, or no ratio, just double diagonal double calendar spreads, straddle swaps, strangle swaps. So if that makes sense to you, we can talk in Discord or wherever.
For everybody that made sense for, go ahead and throw up a Doge emoji.
If it doesn't make sense, feel free to join me on Juicy Trades, like Luce told me to.
Just doing all the big things.
I signed up for an intro to investing class at college next semester, so hopefully I learned something.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes,
well, it is.
Trade. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is paid education. It is paid education, so you probably won't learn shit. But hey, yeah, Tasty Trade's pretty good for that.
Guys, I got quick info on the whole truck thing, electric truck, and also local delivery. The other guy was talking about. Work for one of the largest B2B distributors in the Northeast, and we tried to switch to electric trucks a few years ago as a big push for the universities, try to market the Go Green. And we weren't able to deliver heavy items on these trucks because they were just dying too fast. These were developed by Ryder. That's who all of our contracts are with, who's been blowing up recently. But
Ryder, I hardly even know her.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, I guess the in a nutshell, it's kind of what he's saying. He's talking larger trucks with the Tesla semis, but even on the smaller, like the other guy said, people are trying to shift to this smaller local delivery, like last mile delivery. And even with that, they're not able to put as much on these trucks as they are the diesel trucks. Although as a benefit, the electric cost to repair is a lot less than the diesel cost to repair. So when you don't even talk about the cost of diesel itself going up, the actual cost to repair and parts are back ordered left and right for diesel trucks. So might be an inevitable thing to go electric, but it's definitely going to make businesses less efficient, and they're going to want to stay on diesel as long as they can.
Somebody had mentioned that, I think it was you, Luce, that the driver could swap the battery out. I don't know if that technology exists. Is that a thing that they can do?
No, I was kind of trying to think ahead, as in let's try to think about the bull cases, right? And okay, Tesla, it's always been about the vision, right? So maybe he's thinking semi trucks. I'm building up the infrastructure for charging stations, and what there's supposed to be stations where they could just swap the batteries out. I think that's what he mentioned a while back. So let's say that's the vision. however long that takes, right? Could he then, this is, super optimism, like what's the bull case, right? And let's say he puts those stations at every major like trucking station, every major truck stop, and then the semis could just pull up, get the battery switched out, and be on their way. Then would it be okay? We could see him taking over the semi truck space. So if the answer is no, not really, then my point is, even in the most optimistic bull case, it still doesn't sound like that good of an idea.
I would ask the truck driver guy if his opinion changes if he could carry 4 of those batteries in his truck, such that he effectively is driving with 2,000 miles of energy.
Yes. Just straight up, yes.
Yeah, okay.
My opinion will change.
How would that affect? Okay, so those batteries would have to not be that heavy, correct? Because
I mean, you'd have to be able to do it. Yeah, you'd have to be able to do it yourself. But I think that dramatically changes the game, right? Because now, as a truck driver, I could potentially carry like 6,000 miles worth of energy, and I can stop. I have to stop still to swap it out, but I can stop by a fucking cornfield and take a shit.
You could just haul a tandem trailer.
Yeah,
just haul
exactly.
a tandem trailer and already
Correct.
have it connected. You wouldn't even have to remove the battery. You could just haul a like you could drive the tractor, which is hauling a tandem trailer that is hauling your actual trailer with goods behind it.
So now we're talking about having a coal car on a train, right? Like now I've got a car on my truck that's an extra car that's carrying like fucking 40,000 miles of energy. No.
Yeah, and that's you're okay. Everything comes back to the weight and whether DOT is going to let us do this.
Wait, hang on. Someone who's been kidnapped and has been stuck in a tent trying to speak.
Hold on a second, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready.
The longer term vision in batteries are to electric vehicles what a bucket is to an ocean of water. Okay, like the whole concept of batteries is a throwback to fossil fuels, where you have to take the fuel with you because there's no other way to transmit that particular fuel. I think long term, what they're probably looking at is upgrading the infrastructure of the United States and other more advanced countries to electrify the roads. And this is especially good for like long term. This is especially good for trucking and industries that depend on the U.S. highway system. In the next generation of the transportation infrastructure, if they don't electrify the roads, then they're doing something wrong. And what I mean by that is, as you're driving along the freeway, you usually see like these super high voltage, high tension power lines that are right alongside the road as you're traveling. That's electricity going through those lines. There's no reason why you can't do industrial integration where you integrate that electric infrastructure into the highway road systems of the United States to eliminate the need for large batteries altogether. And that way you could drive end to end from New York to California on the 80 and the turnpikes without having to stop to refuel whatsoever in an electric truck. You can do that with electricity. You cannot do that with fossil fuels. With electricity, it's highly doable to transmit electricity through the air and charge the trucks as they're driving down the road and power them as they're driving down the road. You can't do that with gas and diesel trucks. And I think that's the longer term vision in all of this. You guys are just looking at what's going on in 2022 and 2023. But I think longer term, the US and other advanced countries are going to be electrifying the roads. And the evidence of that is they're already doing some of this in the Scandinavian countries. I think Sweden is looking at this. South Korea is already looking at this, and other countries are looking at electric roads, where the whole concept of a battery and the range becomes immaterial. And that's the infrastructure of the future. If the U.S. doesn't build that, they're going to fall behind.
I brought this up, I want to say a month ago in one of these talks. I agree with you 100%.
And I hadn't considered, but that also replaces power lines in general. Because if we're going to start putting the electricity in the road, there's no reason for us to have the power line running parallel to the road.
That's correct. Industrial integration is the way that I refer to it is industrial integration, where instead of building a separate power line, a separate internet connectivity system, a separate road system. Along the highways, there's no reason why they can't be electrified. And on top of that, if you put solar panels along all the highways that are in the United States, then you can power the entire United States with solar.
I want to be that optimistic, but God, like listen. If we base the entire world off of what the countries that actually do know what the hell they're doing are actually doing versus the ones that seem to rather get their teeth pulled out collectively than to actually do something, I don't know. I'm a very cautious individual. Is my problem.
I think the whole reason
ultimately,
politicians really ruin that vision. I mean, politicians are known for ruining those kinds of visions and for delaying things, but I think it's inevitable.
Those power poles are owned by specific companies. The reason the specific power company who owns those doesn't want those poles down and in the ground is because they can charge other companies to a lease to use those poles to run their other lines. So, like, for example, where I live, I'm stuck with AT&T. I don't even have high-speed internet. I'm running on DSL, and it's because AT&T refuses to lease these poles on this property to Spectrum. So Spectrum can't come out and run cable on this road because they want to run off of they don't want to dig, they want to run it off of the pole, and AT&T owns the poles and they won't let them run it. So it's all realistically about money. Somebody's getting paid for that power pole, that piece of property, for it to stand there, and then they're just going to lease 10 foot lower to somebody else and then 5 foot below that to somebody else, and they're going to maximize their profits on every little foot, you know.
You're right about some of the power lines, but the high tension, high voltage power lines, like those tall ones that you see along the freeways and stuff, there's no other utility running on those other than electricity. Like those really, like they look like these massive iron men standing up in a field place. Those are that's all electricity. There's nothing else running on those.
About 3 months ago, a 17-year-old jumped the curb and ran into one of the legs of one of those things and knocked it down across the road, leaving my town. It was huge. It's crazy.
That's impressive.
Friendly story from a Pepsi dispatcher. The semi-trucks that they're using for delivery only do between 350 and 400 miles per week. They could theoretically do a Tesla for a week on 2 charges.
So how long does
Local
it take
is
to
always
recharge that thing?
You got to remember, they're only going from the local bottling plant to the delivery points. So they're only doing 450 miles a week on those semis.
I have a quick point to add. When it comes to power lines, municipalities can exercise eminent domain.
So we need to clarify, but I'm pretty sure the large power lines are owned by the power companies. I don't think they're owned by like Comcast and shit like that.
Yeah, you're correct.
The problem that I'm picking up on here, it just seems like we're still using a lot of old guard, incestuous little assholes who keep running this entire system. And it seems like you're going to need something akin to the TVA in order to get moving. Does that make sense? Or am I thinking too deeply?
No, I think you're right. I'm actually really disappointed that TVA hasn't had more initiative in that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh God!
I hate to interrupt this current broadcast. We have Imperator, whose Big Lots mom, I believe, is available. Imperator, is your mother with us?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Very nice. So if everyone would show some respect and be courteous to Big Lots mom, she has a lot to share with us. Big Lots mom, how is your day going? How was your slumber?
It was great until my son woke me up.
But it's for a good cause, yes? To come
Yeah,
speak with us.
Yeah.
And from what we understand, he made you coffee as well.
Mud, yeah.
Mud with caffeine.
Yeah, not enough creamer.
Hey, that's kind of the quality of that coffee. Kind of sounds like the quality of Big Lots products. Am I right?
Well, the products are good. Don't get me wrong. They've got like Broy Hill. They've got like Broy Hill. That's a name brand. Some of their other stuff is kind of cheesy. If they'd get rid of the damn furniture in the store, they'd do a lot better, I think.
Are you saying they have a lot of furniture in the stores?
Yeah, the furniture takes up about, I'd say at least a third of the store.
Really?
Yes. You know, big couches, love seats, recliners. Now they've got like armoires and side tables, and I mean, it's just everywhere.
So they have even more than they had previously, is what you're saying?
I think they did, yeah.
Interesting.
Do they have dressers?
Yes.
Are you finding good deals or better deals, perhaps, than before?
I looked at the furniture, and it's not top quality furniture. Now, the Broy Hill was the ornaments, which I was really tickled at, you know, because they were just different than other stores have. And I like that selling point, to have something different than like Wally World. God, that's a torture, but, you know, they make money. But
True.
all that furniture is just encumbersome, you know, when you got this big ass buggy cart, whatever you want to call it, and you're trying to get around it. It's, you know, the furniture does not move.
How many times have you purchased furniture, say, over the past half year from Big Lots?
I do not purchase their furniture. It's low quality.
Okay, because of the quality. Is it the other goods, the non-furniture items that you approve of the quality of?
Yeah, I mean, I love the Christmas trees, the ornaments, even like the dog stuff. You know, they've got, like I said, Big Lots. I like them because they have things that other stores don't.
That's good. That's good. So recently they had their quarterly earnings report, which was shit, by the way. So as a business, they don't seem to be doing too well. And then the guidance they gave was pretty bad for their shareholders. Didn't communicate the most optimistic of message. So from a shareholder perspective, from our perspective, we might say Big Lots is going to have a big bad time. However, I think this could be good news for you. And that's because they're gonna have to get rid of that inventory. Exactly. So I think we're all kind of happy here. Maybe we're still bearish on Big Lots based on the information you're telling us. But you will be happy as a customer because you'll continue buying the decent stuff at a markdown. But you'll say, you know, you look at the furniture and say, yeah, fuck that shit. The furniture sucks.
Yeah, get rid of that shit.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, it was just weird, you know, years ago when they started selling furniture. You know, you can go in there and make payments like Rent a Center. I thought that's really odd, but
Wait, they do layaway also.
Yeah, they do like time purchase. You know, you can get it and then pay on it, like Rent a Center. You know, rent to own.
Yeah.
Or you can just go in there and pay it.
Hi, everybody. I'm looking at something from Big Lots right now. I hate spending a lot of money on furniture because I have kids and I used to have animals and they ruin everything. So I feel like I call it.
Oh, who farted? I think we lost you.
Want to spend I don't want to go to like a furniture store.
Yeah, that'd be perfect for you though. I mean, with kids, you go through furniture, I'm sure.
Yeah, I call it throwaway furniture. Like it's just like something to hold the space for when I can actually, you know, get something nice that people aren't going to destroy, including me. I'm just as bad.
So, who farted? Is it safe to say? Is it reasonable to say that you are also a Big Lots mom?
I would call myself like a thrift mom. I want to take my money and put it in investments. I don't want to spend it on things that I need, but things that are expensive, clothing, furniture, house decor, all of that. I would rather get it secondhand and get it inexpensively so that I can put my money where it can grow instead of paying for more liabilities.
It's very smart.
So for Big Lots mom, for thrift mom, I believe we can call both of you thrift mothers if you accept that term. Would you say, do you
thrift
have
posse.
any brand loyalty to Big Lots or to any discount retailer, or is it all about price?
For me, yeah, most of it's about the price. But I do, as I'm older, I've been where she's at. But now that I can spend money, I don't mind spending a little bit more for quality. And the furniture there is not quality for me.
Where do they sell mattresses?
Well, they used to have mattresses and bedroom suits, but I didn't see those in there yesterday. Actually, I went yesterday to see what they had left after, Black Friday, and they still got a lot of stuff. So I don't know. People just don't understand. Like Walmart, they have good sales, but they buy all this stuff that is not in the store, and when you see it at this price, you think, "Oh, that's awesome deal," but it's really not. And then the other stuff is like, stuff left over from last year because I remember it, and it's marked down. So, people just go hog wild over these cheap TVs and, all this crap that they probably don't even really need.
It's true. Like all the people here in Wall Street Bets. And Hearted, would you say what's your mix of quality versus price versus brand loyalty? Where would you reside on if that were a scale, 3-point scale, if you
It
will?
definitely is a scale. So there's certain things I don't skimp on. My tires used to be my bras, but then I had breast cancer and had reconstructive surgery, so I don't need those anymore. But it used to be tires, bras, mattress. I didn't skimp on those. I would always go for quality because they're important, but everything else is pretty much negotiable. I have an entrepreneurial spirit, and I am absolutely a beginning entrepreneur. So I dress and present as though I guess don't, have like the finer things. Like I'm not trying to buy brand name things most of the time. Or I'm going to buy the brand name things at a thrift store because I do appreciate the quality. I can't justify spending, $100 on a sweater. Like I just can't. So for me, it really is price driven. I want it to be good quality for the lowest price, and wherever I have to go to find that, I will. Now, Walmart I like because they're convenient. Like time is money. We all know time is money. I want to spend
Yes, especially
sometimes
us.
less time. Exactly. So when it comes to that, like, so I'm a single mother and I have a really important job. And I also am, like I said, an entrepreneur. So as you can imagine, my time is very precious. And so sometimes I will do what I need to do to save time, like do a delivery service and maybe spend, $10 a month on that delivery service or something like that. So I have tried
Right.
to kind of play with that too. I'm always kind of trying to tweak things and say, okay, what's the most efficient, cost-effective way for me to get to where I want to be?
Right. So it sounds like both of you are you're cognizant of time, price, and quality. It's got to be a good mix of those things. And maybe Big Lots suits the need for Big Lots mom a little bit. Maybe not so much for Hearted, for Thrift Mom.
I
But
only get my toothbrushes at Big Lots.
just the
That's it.
toothbrushes.
Just
Let
the
me ask you this:
toothbrushes.
All
Where
right,
do you
everybody
shop?
buy puts. Big Lots is only selling toothbrushes now.
What's
Hey,
the most common business for you to buy things from?
my favorite place is TJ Maxx, definitely.
Oh, not even Big Lots.
Yep.
No, I love TJ Maxx because
TJ Maxx is well known for being like the best, best inventory management of that business model. They're fabulous.
Mr. Max, yeah.
Oh, I did a business. I did an analysis of the TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods brands. It was a really fun business analysis to do. It's a great,
yeah,
great company.
Home Goods is up there too. I love Home Goods, but I've got to go all the way to Chattanooga for that, and that's like 30 minutes on the interstate. So that's like once in a while. But I think some of these businesses, if they really wanted to compete, They need to look at Hobby Lobby, what Hobby Lobby does. Now, Hobby Lobby is another monster, I know, but Hobby Lobby, no, I go there once a week because I like to quilt and I like to decorate. So
They
can
pray
take-
for you to come there, and that's why you go there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume a lot of the boys here have questions for the thrift moms here. So if we can open up the stage.
How
let
often do you
guys-
use Etsy opposed to going to like Hobby Lobby?
Etsy, only if I can't find it, because Etsy has such a markup. I tried selling stuff on there, and they're like 6% on every sale you make, and it's just not. I don't like that.
So I had a question. Do you thrift moms ever buy floor model mattresses?
No.
The mattress that I have on my bed, yes, is a floor model mattress.
Yeah, some of the guys up here were very interested in what mattresses y'all had. Not that
Where I was
like,
going
it will
next.
ever affect them at all in their entire life, but you know.
Tempur-Pedic.
Yes, mine's,
Tempur-Pedic.
I have like my mattress was a microfiber, but it gets really hot, so I put a Tempur-Pedic topper on it.
Yeah, I mean, once you sleep with a Tempur-Pedic, it's like anything else is like a board.
Yeah, most of the guys up here, we don't have any idea what it's like for the mattress to get hot. It's always just cold and lonely.
Same.
I sleep
Right
on the
there with
ground
you
most
guys.
nights.
I sleep on the floor. I'm a man.
Yo, I just sleep on the couch.
Just
Yeah,
don't
and
put a blue light anywhere near my
a few people here sleep behind Wendy's next to the dumpster, some of them
Yep.
out in the forest.
I sleep in the doghouse.
Wait a minute. You guys sleep on beds?
Wait a minute. You guys sleep?
What's a bed?
Cocaine.
Sad Molasses just said
Some
cocaine.
of us
randomly, so
moms
that's
with
good.
older children actually do get to sleep. Yes, it's pretty great.
Hey, we just want to say that we do support the. Wait, are both of you single mothers?
No.
That's not too personal. Okay, we support. How about this? We support mothers. We support the single mothers. We support the thrift moms. A few of you here really support them. But we're just glad that you joined us here today. I'm sure y'all have many great things to get to for the day, other than talk to
Yeah,
dudes that
TJ
waste their
Maxx
time and
opens
money.
in exactly 2 minutes, so
Oh.
I've got a home goods run to make,
Are you?
and
Do we have another thrift mom?
yeah.
Holy hell! We're
Look,
setting
man,
records here.
I am a suburban
Three in a day,
minivan
let's go.
driving mom of 3.
Me too.
I will say that I would like for a different characterization. Like, yes, I am a mom, but I'm also just a woman, and it's nice to have a woman's perspective in these groups. Like,
Oh, of course.
especially women investors and women who really pay attention to money. I find that I feel very alone in my groups of friends because none of my friends do what I do and pay attention to what I pay attention to. So I love like the opportunity to sit here and talk with you guys.
Oh, great.
About
Hey.
money.
Totally
and
agree. That's
finances
awesome.
And labels are just a thing, but we kind of like our labels, as
Yeah.
degenerate and deprecating as they are. For example, I am the janitor, as in I suck at life, right? And then a lot of us up here, we're losers, virgins, degenerates, retards, all sorts of things. So those are our labels, and we're very proud of them. So is there a label that you ladies would like to claim? Just good fun.
Well, hey, I'm not offended by Big Lots, Mom. I gotta really.
Big Lots, Mom?
I got tickled at it.
I think you have that exclusive title, so maybe
Yeah.
pride there. Yeah.
I mean,
I bought my last couch at Big Lots.
Yeah. How long did it last? How long did it last?
I still have it.
Yeah. I mean, is it comfortable though?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Because
holding up pretty well, but the thing is, like, I'm not going to treat myself until my kids are out of the house. When they're gone, I'll buy expensive shit.
So
But in the meantime,
yo, sister, you are preaching to the choir.
Yeah. See, like
This is
your
why we
kids,
can't have nice things.
your kids are little. I mean, I've got a grown son. that
No, I have
invest.
teenagers. I have 3 teenagers, and the way they flop on the couch, like with all of their teenage weight, nah, I'm surprised it hasn't broken yet. But I'll get
Listen,
nice things when they're grown.
you're not
Advice,
wrong. Gaming chairs are fucking impossible.
advice to another mom: slap their shit, man. Tell them sit on that shit right. I mean,
They'll figure it out when they break their own shit.
Yeah, but
It'll
you're
happen soon. We're at the home stretch, and I'm not slapping anybody. I'm like shoving them out the door. Like,
yeah,
come
you
on.
you gotta train them to get married and get the hell out of the house.
They don't have to get married to get the fuck out. They just got to get the fuck out.
True.
Ladies, I have a question, if you don't mind. I'm just curious, like people that you know that do shop at Big Lots and TJ Maxx and thrifting as well, your lady friends, what are the things they're buying? And are they Christmas shopping there? Just buying decorations? Just need a little bit of insight there, if you don't mind.
TJ Maxx, they're buying clothes, shoes, and definitely home goods. Our home goods store is lit. It's so awesome. They have so much good Christmas stuff. The other place that they're shopping is Kirkland's.
Yeah. Well, for me, Big Lots trees are like 50% off. So you get the awesome tall trees and fat trees and skinny trees. Awesome deal right now. And I love their ornaments, like I said. But yeah, home goods, it's like the Gollum. My precious.
It's so fucking
Did you say
great.
Kirkland's?
Oh God,
Like,
I love it.
is that different than the Costco brand, Kirkland?
Yes.
No, Kirkland is
yes,
the
it's
Costco
different.
brand,
Kirkland.
really.
No. This is different. Kirkland's is a home goods store. Like they only sell like home stuff.
I forgot they
I think
still
it might
did
be a
that.
regional thing. They're based out of like Nashville.
Oh yeah, the actual store. Yeah, I don't have one,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's kind of
Oh
like
God, I'm so sorry. It's amazing. Not as amazing as Home Goods, but it's up there.
so. Is it like a cross between Big Lots and TJ Maxx or what?
How would I describe it? No, because it's not like TJ Maxx, like how they work is they buy excess inventory and sell it. But this is not that. Like they're a home goods store. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's like Target's home section.
Are they like Wayfair? Or
Kind of,
IKEA?
yeah. But small. Like their stores are small. They're not like a giant furniture store.
I have another.
But they sell all kinds of live, laugh, and love. It's fucking great.
I have another.
Oh, that's
question.
where that stuff went.
Yeah, like all of that is sourced from Kirkland's, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
It's got to be. I don't know if it is, but you'll be living, laughing, and loving when you go in there.
I
got a question for the Big Lots moms. If you guys, next time you're in a store, just for kicks, do me a favor, go to a manager, find a piece of furniture that you've seen there for over a year, and ask them if they'll take 25% off. Because I'm curious if individual store managers are wheeling and dealing, or is just screw it, we're not going to reduce cost, we're just going to let this shit sit. Because I think that's an indicator of whether or not we'll get, whether or not you'll see that stock rebound.
Sure, I'll do it.
I'm
a wheeler dealer. I go to yard sales and be like, oh, that's $20. I'll give you $5 for that.
Yeah, and
The
people
only
don't
thing is, I
realize
don't go
that
to
you
Big
can do
Lots
that
a
in
lot.
retail stores all the
Can
time,
I
especially
say-
stores like that.
Can I say, I'll step in and say, I have a Big Lots next to me. I'm Affectionate Rules. Y'all can call me All-Star Mom. I'm the All-Star Mom to a 5-year-old who dances and cheers.
Welcome, All-Star Mom.
Hello. So I do live literally by every single fucking store in the planet. I'm here in Plano, Richardson, Texas, because I'm right here on the border. So when it comes to Big Lots, yes, you can barter, but they also have equivalent to what like Best Buy has. There's lease to own in regard to their furniture. And so they go through a lease to own company. I feel like you have to look at Big Lots as who are they targeting? And it's typically on the lower end of things. So for example, I might not be able to get credit at the room store for furniture. I may not have gotten approved at another furniture store, but I need this bed set right away. That's of decent quality. So let me go lease to own, so to speak. And that's when a lot of people go to Big Lots for furniture. And as well as, like we've said, the moms have said, playroom furniture and kind of that throwaway when you have kids furniture type stuff. So that's what Big Lots we look at as far as the furniture side of things. And they also have rugs and shit. As far as what else is in there, it's sort of like a hodgepodge of junk because they are buying excess inventory. So one day you might be able to go in and get your favorite snacks. Like I said earlier, that is like an American Dazo. So, or you can go in there and find cheap chargers or whatnot, cheap cleaning supplies. So it just
Hey,
kind of,
Starmon, you said,
yeah.
do you mind giving some prices on that, just hypothetically?
As far as like what?
Chargers, shit, that kind of thing.
Anywhere from $1 to $5. Literally like Dollar Tree. How can I almost want to say
Like
it's kind
Dollar
of,
General, but bigger.
yeah, it's like Wishy, like how Wish you can buy all the little crazy knockoff type things.
Target dollar.
Kind of same thing, yeah.
I don't
Alright, well-
skimp on my chargers. I buy like I have an iPhone. I buy Apple because it was messing up my phone, and it was also they break so easily that I feel like it's better to pay for quality. Plus, I get a discount because I get a discount on them. So
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a very good tip. I just want to point out that this would probably just set a record for number of women in one Reddit talk on stage, and
for sure.
especially in Wall Street
love
Bets
this.
because usually we just have a bunch of dudes that don't know what the hell to do with their time and they can't stop talking, and it's terribly ironic because you ladies know, like guys, the stereotype, oh, women just want to talk, they just don't never stop talking. But when we have a woman up, what I always see, and you guys know what I'm talking about, is the guys are talking non-fucking stop. And then there's like a 2-second pause. A woman unmics. I can see a woman unmic, and then a guy starts speaking immediately, and then the woman she mutes herself again. And it's literally the complete opposite. So this has been refreshing. So having said that, I just want to read a comment from someone that says, see what happens when women start talking here. Guys can't get a word in. Seem familiar? So ladies, I'd like to perhaps shift. If you'd like to talk shit about the virgins and the idiots that we have up here that can't stop losing money, including myself, please, you have the floor. Say whatever you'd like.
Or pretend
I feel
journalist.
sorry for your mom.
Damn. Can we start
You
off?
say about my mama?
Since we were talking about labels earlier, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm a sugar daddy.
Oh.
You need money
Oh wait,
to
hold
be a
up,
sugar
hold up.
daddy?
You can talk a little more. What?
He just has a lot of sugar.
Yeah, he just stockpiled.
Well,
the
I have
sugar
to make
at
a cake, so that's
Let's just make
perfect.
that clear.
I think y'all are fucking hilarious.
May I ask
Same.
a question? May I ask a question this question is for the ladies. If let's face it, I'm a loser and I'm sitting in my pajamas in my mother's basement. But let's say I were to meet a fine, wealthy woman and she became my sugar mama. Would you see that as like, is that like oh yeah, more power to women, woman empowerment, right? Or would you see that as I'm just a fucking bum, and I'm a rat bastard?
No, I
How would you see
want
that?
an equal, and I want someone to freaking like challenge. I want a challenge. I don't want a loser.
What's the definition of loser? Just curious.
Well, yeah, we got almost 700 people here. About 650 are about to leave because they just heard you don't want losers.
Deuces.
It's all relative, right? It's all relative to the next one.
Let me just ask. I mean, you're saying that you're a loser, but I mean, you're on the stock market. How is your stocks? Are you making money?
My stocks, truth be told, I'm doing pretty well. So these other guys, I'm not sure. You can't make a bad place. I'm trying to help you, but a lot of you
I've
don't
heard
listen.
of this making money thing. I don't know what that means, but I've heard of it.
2022 was a hard year for leap calls in tech. Let me just say.
But here's the thing, like women drive household spending, so you better have some fucking money to spend.
You ain't lying there.
Well,
That's the
on
truth.
my side of things, I've got a cousin. She's like 4 years younger than me, and she's in the military. She's a recruiter, and she goes on these apps and she finds these guys, and they're her requirements, but they're just like throwaways. So you guys that are sitting there in your damn pajamas and shit, you need to get in the pool. So professional women or decent women can actually draw from you because there's not a lot of a selection out there, and you might find somebody.
Well, throw your cousin my way.
Jeez. I'm in
That'll
the pool, but I
include a
keep getting liquidated.
picture, and she'll probably
Oh, you don't want them sending pictures, lady.
Yeah, don't be asking
Anyway,
for pictures.
I'll
You're
throw
gonna
my
get some
profile
unsolicited
first.
dick pics.
Listen,
I'm
send your
full blown
Robinhood
in
account pic.
Listen, I am full blown in the dating world. They send pictures whether you want them to or not. Now, I am never upset, even if it's unsolicited. I
You know,
love
it's
to see
funny
it.
that you said
But
that you're about to. We got
Oh
650
my
people in here. You're about to get
Why
some
the
DMs.
fuck would
I'm
you
just
say that?
fair warning.
Everyone
Fair
So,
warning.
I used to broadcast, and I said I had cancer, so I would broadcast when I was going through chemo, and like I couldn't really do much, and so I would broadcast on RPAN. And even with a bald head, you still get a number of people in your DMs that are all sorts of interesting. So
Some guys find cancer sexy. That's a kink for them.
I mean,
people are in all sorts of things.
Wait, what is
and I
our
don't-
fan? Is
No,
RPAN.
RPAN.
RPAN, Reddit Public Access Network. It's actually shut down now. They just shut it down. But
okay.
it was pretty cool for a while, and then it kind of got just, I don't know.
It got too sexy, I think, and they had to shut it down.
I mean, I wish it was a little sexier, but whatever. But I'm an aspiring sugar mama. As long as somebody's got good energy, as long as they're not
600 out of the
assholes,
650 people are about to DM you.
I already
as
did.
long as they're not assholes, and as long as you are interested in contributing to like goodness in my life, I am also that way to other people. So, once I have this wealth built up that I'm working on, then I'm happy to be a sugar mama. Like, I will fly somebody out to my house. I will do whatever. Like, I don't care, because
Boys,
why
you heard her.
couldn't I?
Wow.
To New York you go.
I'm very good. I used to do copywriting. I'm very good at writing, so I'll write a script, a prompt for all of you. That I think will work well. And all you have to do is enter your name. That's it.
Do I need to
This
bring
sounds
Owen
like
Cochran
some
vacuum?
of the weirdest pics you've ever seen.
Oh, okay. Hey, on that note, we do need to wrap up. But this has gotten far off topic, but it was refreshing because damn, it's good to hear some women up here.
Hey, Lou,
But
do you mind if I ask one question, if that's okay?
oh, sure, and then we'll wrap it up with that.
Sure, yeah. I was just wondering, ladies, if you could pick one item in one store that will be successful in 2023 for all the ladies and all the women, which one would that be? Dildos.
Successful.
While they're thinking, the other thing, Luce, it's one thing when the ladies deny your existence, but when you start doing it, you are our first female mod. Don't cut yourself short.
Yes, we were getting complaints that we had no female moderators, so I immediately identified as a woman. So everybody, if you'd like to take the time to congratulate me on being the first female moderator.
Luce, I'm also pre-op.
Okay, good. So only congratulations to myself as a woman.
Luce, you're about to get so many DMs.
Yes.
Also,
and you can
I
hear
want to know
by
what
my-
kind of chemo drug she was taking, because most people in the movies, they're haggard, on a rocking chair. This broad's out here stacking bodies. What the hell was she on?
Yeah, and the surgeons, they did a wonderful job, even with the voice therapy. That's why you hear this wonderful buttery feminine voice. So
Buttery. Ooh, buttery. I like that.
okay,
Sure
opinion.
makes my socks go up and down.
I'm getting word in my my earpiece from opinion.
So I'll start mom here. Let me say this. There's not necessarily an item. Being someone that has to do constant gifting and constant buying, dealing with a 5-year-old, it's more of what's my number one go-to store out of all the stores in the area. And that for me is TJ Maxx, Ross, um, Home Goods, Marshalls. Those are, but the TJ Maxx brand is definitely number one for me because of the being able to one-stop shop for a variety of things.
All right, we
I
got a
think
lot
that's
of
a great
flashing
point.
mics.
That's a good point. I'll check
Opinion, opinion. I believe
So
has
real
an important announcement for everyone.
Market bounced hard off the lows.
I don't have an important announcement. I was just messing with the mic and making it flash.
Real quick, what's the difference fundamentally between like TJ Maxx and Ross?
TJ Maxx and Ross. What's the fundamental difference? It's just a matter of, well, and I should have added, I apologize. I'm a Amazon third party seller, have been since November 2017. So it's kind of where I go for inventory as well. So it's sort of like if one doesn't have it, I know typically maybe the other does. And they're also along the same kind of like price line. So if I can't find my daughter some sandals in TJ Maxx, I'll hop over to Ross since it's across the highway.
Ross for me is like, it's crap. I mean, the clothes are just like, I wouldn't even buy their clothes really. But the household goods are pretty good.
May
I
I
don't
interrupt?
shop for little kids either though. They have some cute stuff over there for the little kids. But there's really, Ross is not someplace I would go. Oh, maybe like you said, last prayer, Can I find it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the truth of
Before I
that is
would
actually
go, before
selection,
I would
right?
go to Big Lots. Big Lots is like last on the list.
Yeah, for me, it's selection. I want to be able to see a couple of things, at least in that category, or 3 or 4. Price, I mean, like I said, I'm older than these ladies, so I have more money probably. I don't know. But quality, you have to pay for quality. You get what you pay for. That's the bottom line. If you're going to pay $10 for a shirt, it might last, it might not. But if you're going to pay $30 for a shirt that you really like, you're going to take care of it better and it's going to last longer.
So what it sounds like, sorry, but what it sounds like, it's for those thrifters out there. It appears that there is really no brand loyalty. It's just you kind of go and chase the best convenience / dollar. And so therefore, having that Big Lots as your main store wouldn't, you're going to all of them. You're going to General Dollar, you're going to Big Lots, you're going to Target, TJ Maxx.
And are you reselling these things? Did I hear you say that you're going to these stores to buy and then resell?
To buy, I do, yes, because I do retail arbitrage, but it also depends. Like, for example, I
heard people
Marshalls,
doing that. There are also people in the comments saying that.
Yes, so I have a
That's
TJ Maxx,
interesting.
Marshall, Home Goods that are near me. Some of my TJ Maxxes have actual cases with Gucci, Prada, Fendi, those types of things. So it also depends on like I said, you have to look at the demographics for the area as far as what's going to be carried in those stores. So just like she was saying, she was assuming that she may have more money than us, for example, because she's older. Well, it depends. Her Target could just max out at like Michael Kors bags, where I'm sorry, not Target, but TJ Maxx. Whereas my TJ Maxx over here has Gucci and Fendi and all of that type of things. So it just kind of is one of those things. You look at the demographics, where is that store located in, and those are kind of what they trail into those stores, the higher end items or the lower end.
So I'm curious, what
That's a
side
good
of the
point. Thank you.
What side do you start on? Do you start on the side that you go and find what you want to
When
try
I
to
walk
source,
into a store,
yeah.
most TJ Maxxes, immediately to your right is going to be your shoes. In front of you will always be clothes. To your right, typically is your shoes, purses.
Let me rephrase the question because that was a bad question.
Okay.
Worded it wrong. I meant like, do you find something online that you're like, man, this is $80. I wonder if I can find it at TJ Maxx, or do you go to TJ Maxx and say, okay, this is $20. I wonder if I can sell it for $40. Which like
no, I'll know I'm the person that can walk into a thrift store, see a $3 sweater, and I can resell it for 400 or 500. So I know my brands.
Oh my God.
I'm typically.
You can take her out later, crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
I just want to say kudos to you, girl. But you know what? You have screwed me over on so many deals because now everybody's doing that. You know, I used to be that girl that would go in there and get like Calvin Klein jeans, or just throwing that out there. But now they're like marked up like really high.
Yes, this is where all retail arbitragers are doing. We're going to the different stores, and we're able to flip those items because like I said, whereas I can get that Gucci purse for $400, she's up in Tennessee area and she can't get it, but she wants it, right? So I can turn around on Macari, Poshmark, or Offer Up and probably flip that $400 purse into now $1,000.
This is
your plan all along, wasn't it? To get ladies on here to fight.
Hey, I have a vision, okay? And it's been a problem for a long time. You know,
Is that vision blurred with alcohol?
You know, the Constitution said, originally no women's right to vote, So just as our great leaders did with real life here, which is very comparable, obviously, I am on Wall Street Bets and I'm trying to establish equal rights. So I'm just as important as those great founding fathers, the great political leaders we've had.
You just need to expand a morning show for women.
You have to, and I mean, me personally, I don't mind being a sugar mama, right? But I love.
Ooh, we got sugar mama candidate number 2.
But I love,
ladies and gentlemen,
to do things. You got to be able to allow me to do those things. So if that's you taking care of the 5-year-old and taking her to all her little events and whatever else, and freeing me up to kind of get in the stores and do my thing and all of that, then perfect.
I just want to make it perfectly clear. None of the guys up here have money. So like when we say sugar mama,
let's make that fucking
we
clear.
really mean that you're gonna be paying for everything.
And that's okay, because I don't mind taking, 30
What's
minutes
up,
out
girl?
the day and helping you look up stocks and figure some things out and gamble.
Let's just be clear here.
It's investing, not gambling.
She promotes.
I am in love.
My bad.
Can we be clear though? Like, if it's good, and I think everybody knows what I mean by it. Like, no amount of money that you have to spend is too much.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I just for the record.
Exactly.
Yes, I invited the ladies up. No, ironically, I was not the one to turn this into a sex talk. Okay?
Whoa, she's talking about
you slick bastard. Bullshit. This was your plan
on the record.
Hey,
ladies and gentlemen, I would like to put that on the record. That,
ladies,
opinion, please put that on the record. Thank you.
Yeah, ladies. Okay, what the guys are gonna say is they're gonna say, "Hey, I need 25K, and it's for business, right?" That's they're gonna tell you. They're gonna say it's gonna be a really good investment. I'm gonna deliver you a very high return, and then 30 days later they're gonna say the 25K is gone, but trust me, we got to double down. And what they're doing is they're just throwing the money away at stocks, and they're gonna say it's for business, and you can say it's complicated. You don't understand. But this is business. That's so this is a very
Bad business is still business.
For the financiers. This is a negative net present value investment for you ladies.
Don't let Uncle Bud ruin your day though. Somebody could hit the 0 DTE spy lottery. All right.
Oh yeah, it could happen.
Can we have the stenographer strike that message from the recording, please? That
Women get collateral, darlings.
On this note, unfortunately, we do have to end.
Wait, Liz, one more thing.
Okay, sure. One more thing, and that's
one more thing.
All right, one more thing.
Better not be asking for no money.
No, this is a play.
Okay, let him speak.
Grinder. Let's fucking go.
Ooh.
Hey, we're talking about women here, dude. What the hell?
And the talk with all the ladies about us being, just wanting men.
I'm in a relationship, so
okay.
It's
ladies,
fair.
I got a real question, if I may ask real quick.
Hang on.
Sir?
We're wrapping it up. Okay.
Okay.
Too many one last question. Okay.
I got it. It's okay.
I'll wrap up with something that I think, Luce, you hit a note that with everyone wanting sugar mamas, as a woman and having dated very, 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 very hard for quite some time, and just coming across such losers, giggity. That
Now
we
you're
don't
here.
like. We're happy to be sugar mamas to someone who contributes to our life, but then at the same, but then what it ends up being is that it's like we end up taking on another son. Like we have an adult male son that
Be a
we
man.
might be having sex with or not, or he's
All
just, he's just
right.
taking our wallet, right?
Okay, so,
Okay, over.
so if
Well,
I
hence
could
the term
summarize,
sugar mama.
There goes
yeah,
everybody.
if I could summarize, you know, in conclusion, that's why I'm shorting big lots. No, I'm just kidding. If I could summarize,
Oh,
all right.
hey, Luce,
we
this isn't a
got-
question; it's a statement. You manipulative bastard! I love you.
No, I'm not
Great
manipulating
job.
anything. or
Oh yeah,
anyone.
you did. You
I've
set this
never
whole
done
thing up.
that
So are we
ever in my
long?
life.
Are we?
All right, shut the fuck up. Okay, we're ending the talk. Thank you to all the ladies. Thank you to the 3 sugar mama candidates. I'm sure you'll be receiving plenty of DMs. I'm sure you're lovely women. These are all jokes. So please don't fucking comment. Don't send us mod mail saying we're objectifying or any of that bullshit or we're luring people in here. Yeah, fuck that. These are all jokes. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. Half of you are virgins and the rest are losers. Everybody's losing their money. It doesn't matter, right? Okay. So all jokes. That's the big disclaimer. Thank you for coming on. Ladies, we would like to have you back at some point. Maybe we'll do like a retail update, like a thrift shopping update. We can make this a recurring thing, perhaps.
Sure.
Post Christmas would be nice.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
open to whatever.
All right,
It was
then
great talking to everybody.
yeah, we'll remember your usernames. I'm looking at your usernames now, and we'll we'll invite you up next time. So
You can
Did anyone else get like 1 million followers after this?
I usually get followers after I talk in the chat. But
All right.
Yeah, I got a
call
couple.
me Stacy too. I'm Stacy.
Oh
That's
my
my name.
goodness.
I
Okay.
share my name with people.
You're getting
My
the
name is
most
Stacy.
DMs for sure now. All right, let's end the talk on that note. Thank you everyone for joining. This has been a very special talk. Opinion, is there
Thank you,
anything
Liz.
else you want to
Thank you,
add before we sign out?
Nope, all good. See you all next week. For the Ortex AMA.
All right. The triple air horn for the Sugar Mamas.
Ortex.
Everyone.
Try not to lose too much money.